Hirata from Classroom the Elite is a very interesting character. Hirata has been around for quite a long time. If you're an anime only, he was pretty much introduced in season 1, and if you're a light novel reader, he's been introduced since the beginning of the series. And just like some characters from this series, in season 2 of Classroom the Elite, they had to cut down some character scenes that involved other characters that weren't Anakoji, and that's really unfortunate because some scenes that were supposed to happen in season 2, some of these scenes were important for Hirata's character because it will show us what kind of person he is, and it makes sense as to why he does some certain things, but we'll get into that when the time comes. But for now, like always, I am going to spoil some things that happen after season 2, so if you don't want to watch that, then you have been warned, because I am going to spoil some things that happen after season 2 of Classroom the Elite. So if you have been watching this series or you have read this series, you will know that in the beginning Hirata seemed like a very decent person. Of course, he wasn't really that interesting, or you could say very special. There wasn't really anything that made us really interested in him as a character. During the beginning, the only things we knew about Hirata was the fact that he was pretty much the class leader of Class D. Not only was he nice, but he also respected everybody in the class. Not only that, but he was also the boyfriend of Kei, which the reason why I'm mentioning this is because it's going to become important as I talk about Hirata even more. But yeah, there was just a lot of basic things that you knew about Hirata. But if there was one question that Anakoji had in his mind when he was observing what Hirata was doing, the question was, why is Hirata doing all this? Why did Hirata want to bring the class all together? Why did he make himself pretty much the leader of the class even though he didn't have to? Is it because of an ulterior motive, or is he genuinely a thoughtful person? That is the question that Anakoji had in his mind when he was observing Hirata, and his question will be answered later on in volume 4, aka the cruise ship arc. So the cruise ship arc had scenes that involved Hirata, pretty much showing us what kind of person he is. But unfortunately, the anime had to cut some content in order to keep the main plot moving. But basically, remember that scene in which Kei was asking Hirata for help because of the girls that were bullying her? That whole scene? Yeah, that whole scene played differently in the light novel. You see, this conversation was supposed to happen really late at night because Hirata actually sneaked out of his room to talk to Kei. However, Anakoji was anticipating this because he soon started following him. Remember, Anakoji actually was planning to make these events happen because in the light novels, he was actually more calculative in what he was doing, unlike in the anime where it seemed that all the information was just getting to him just by luck, whereas in the light novel he was pretty much planning all these events to happen because this was his plan to get more information about Kei. Remember, in this arc, in the cruise ship arc, he wanted to know more about Kei and what was her dark secrets. So anyway, Anakoji starts following Hirata. Hirata notices Anakoji and starts questioning why Anakoji is following him, to which Anakoji gets straight to the point, saying that this is about the things that are happening to Kei, which of course Hirata starts to notice that maybe Anakoji has something to do with Kei's situation. But Anakoji, in order to make sure his plan doesn't fail, lies to Hirata, saying that this is something that Horikita asked him to do to get as much information about the class as possible because she wants to know what is happening in the class, something that Hirata is very hesitant to agree, but decides to let Anakoji come along with him in his conversation with Kei. And it will be in this conversation that we will eventually learn that Hirata and Kei's relationship is fake. They're not actually boyfriend and girlfriend, they're just pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend in order for Hirata to protect Kei from people who are trying to do her harm. Now, this is something that Anakoji is confused and really not understanding why Hirata is doing all this. Why is he faking a relationship with Kei? So when Anakoji asks Hirata why he's doing all this, he says it's to protect the class and to help the people he can. And this is where Hirata would later tell Anakoji about what happened before he went into this high school, before he attended Advanced Nurturing High School, in which he explains that in junior high, he had a classmate that he was friends with for a really long time. Like, he knew this person ever since they were little. But unfortunately, this person was the victim of bullying. But even though Hirata knows that the bullying was happening, he didn't do anything. And the reason why Hirata didn't do anything is because he was afraid that if he stepped in and tried to defend this person, he was also going to become a victim of bullying. So he decided not to do anything about it. But unfortunately, as the bullying kept happening, this person started going insane, meaning that this person could no longer take the bullying and decides to end it all. Now, you know where this is going, so I'm not really going to say it because I'm not sure if this is allowed on YouTube, but basically this person tries to take their own life. Now, fortunately, they survived. They miraculously survived that attempt. But this whole situation traumatized Hirata because now he felt guilty that he didn't do anything. Had he done something, maybe this friend of his, a friend that he knew for a really long time, wouldn't have done it at all. So because of this whole situation, Hirata made sure that he is able to protect anyone he can and make sure that he helps anybody he can. That's why he does all this. That's the reason why Hirata decided to help Kei out, because he feels that he needs to, because in order to prevent a situation to happen like that ever again, Hirata needs to help people no matter what. Now, Anakoji, while he's saying all this, is thinking to himself that it's understandable why Hirata wants to help people out and why he feels the need to save everyone no matter what. But one thing he acknowledges is that there may be a time in which Hirata is not able to protect everyone. He's not able to help everyone out there. And this will become true in Volume 10, aka the class voting arc. This arc is the second best arc in first year of Class of the Elite. I'm not going to get into detail because there's a lot of things that happen in this arc. There is so many insane moments that happen in this arc, and it's the reason why I enjoyed this arc. And one of them being was what happened with Hirata. Now, to keep it simple, in this arc there was a special exam in which involved the entire class of first years to vote for one person to get expelled. That's right. The entire class had to make a vote onto who they should expel in their classroom. This was somebody that they could see as unworthy, completely useless to the class, or somebody doesn't contribute to the class whatsoever and they won't in the near future. Now, after this exam was announced, you can clearly tell that Hirata was not very happy about this exam, which goes to shows us that his past is still affecting him to this day. He didn't want anybody from his class to be expelled. He wanted the entire class to be all together. But like Anakoji mentioned before, not everyone is going to be saved. Not everyone is going to be able to be saved by Hirata. And when Anakoji tries telling him this, Hirata is not listening. He believes that he can save everyone. He believes that there's a way to make sure that no one gets expelled. But that is something that Anakoji and as well as the reader knows that it's most likely not going to happen. That someone from Class D was going to get expelled. But before that happened, there was an unexpected situation that took place before the class voting, and this was the fact that Horikita announced to the class that Yamauchi was planning on getting Anakoji expelled. Now, I'm not going to get into too much details because that's not the whole point of this video. I may make another video talking about this arc in the future in more detail because this is a very insane arc, but for now, just know that Horikita exposed Yamauchi's plan to expel Anakoji, and because of this, Horikita makes the proposal that the class should vote for Yamauchi because Yamauchi is useless and he's not going to contribute to the class in the future. Now, when this is all happening, Yamauchi's freaking out because his plan not only got exposed, but now he's being the target of the person being expelled in the class. But not only that, but Hirata starts losing his cool here. He is very angry at Horikita, but despite that, Horikita continues saying as to why Yamauchi should be expelled. But as she's saying all this, the anger on Hirata starts to grow and grow to the point where he literally shouts at Horikita to stop it and kicks a desk. Now, this moment was not only shocking to the reader, but everyone in there as well. The class was shocked. Horikita was not only shocked, but literally scared for a moment about Hirata. Like, she was really scared what Hirata was going to do. But even Anakoji himself stated he would never have expected to see this side of Hirata. But it happened. And it will only get worse from here as during the class voting, the class voted for Yamauchi to be expelled. And of course, this affected Hirata because, like I stated, he made a promise to protect everyone no matter what. He wants to save everyone. But in this moment, he couldn't save one person. And even though Yamauchi is like a terrible person and a terrible character in Class of the Elite, he's like my least favorite character of the series. I understand why Hirata wanted to help him and why he wanted to protect him is because he didn't want nobody to be expelled. And I do see where he's coming from, but the one thing he has to know is the fact that the school that they're in isn't normal. Like, literally anybody can get expelled even if they fail one test. Like, if they fail one test, it's over. Like, you're done. There's no retries. Like, you're done. But despite knowing all this, it seemed that Hirata was very confident that everyone will be able to survive. And after this whole situation in which Yamauchi gets expelled, Hirata starts to hit rock bottom. Not only does he start to not participate at the class at all, and this was very important because Hirata was the leader of Class D. So without him, there was pretty much no leader in the class. Not only that, but he stopped talking to the entire class. Once school was always done, he would always just leave, and that's it. Not a hi, not a bye. nothing. He would just leave the classroom just like that. And of course, people were worried about him, but it seemed that no matter what they were trying to tell him, he would not listen and he would not pay attention to them. That wasn't until volume 11 when Anikoi decides to talk to Hirata himself. And at first, Hirata doesn't think too much of it and just thinks that Anikoi is going to try to comfort him. But that's not what Anikoi does. Anikoi instead tells Hirata how it was his fault that Yamauchi was expelled. Hirata, confused, is asking Anikoi why is he saying all this, to which Anikoi responds saying that if he was strong enough and probably more better and smarter, he would most likely would have been able to save Yamauchi. And this is where Hirata notices that Anikoi is being serious and he's being a different person than he originally is. Normally, Anikoi is just this quiet person, doesn't really say anything. But in this moment, he got to see a different side of Anikoi. Now, of course, Anikoi is a very mysterious character. We don't know when he's actually being his true self and when he's playing an act. But in this moment, Hirata was convinced that he got to see Anikoi's true personality. And during that whole conversation, Hirata realized that maybe Anikoi has a point. Maybe he was more stronger and better person and smarter than he thought he was, then maybe most likely he would have been able to save Yamauchi. And after this conversation, Hirata thanks Anikoi for pretty much telling him what he had to do, because now he's confident as to what to do, that he needs to become a much more better person and see the world in reality, that not everyone's going to be able to be saved, and then there's unfortunately going to be people that are going to be expelled. That is something that Hirata realized, and while he still wants to help people the best he can, he now realizes that he's not going to be able to save everyone. There might be a future in which most of the class may be expelled because that's how the school operates. And overall, I think that's what really made Hirata's character even more impactful. We got to learn more things that made sense as to why he does the things he did. But now we see a different side of Hirata. Now we're seeing a completely different version of Hirata, where now he understands that what he needs to do is become more stronger, more smarter, more better than he is right now. Because if he does that, there may be a chance that he could protect the people he wants to protect. But he realized that if someone's not able to be saved, then he just needs to move on and not make a big deal out of it like he did with the whole Yamauchi situation. And overall, I'm really looking forward as to what he's going to do next. In second year, as of right now, there have been a few scenes with him, but as of right now, he hasn't really been the center of attention. Who knows, maybe in future books, there might be moments in which Hirata gets more scenes, but until then, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.